So, now being December, so the next year is just coming up. So, what happens during this time is people start thinking about the new year and the resolutions that we have to make, right? So that is typically the agenda around this time. So what will the new year look like, and what is it that we are going to manifest? What is it that we are going to create? What kind of resolution should we have? And all of those things keep going on in our mind. Now, this is where I have personally been having a lot of mixed thoughts about resolutions. I know in a way that no, it's good to have some kind of a goal, some kind of a outcome in mind for the coming year. But at the same time, I always feel disappointed that what about the past resolutions? None of those really have not really come through, right? So it's kind of a half-baked kind of a feeling about resolutions. And I was contemplating on it because I know it's important, but then that feeling that what should it be and so on, and why really do it? So then I thought about a nice way to think about resolution. So it's really think about a journey, right? You might want to go on to a nice resort somewhere, and you're driving to that resort. Okay, so that is the resort is really your resolution that you're making. This is what you want to achieve. That's the destination. Uh, and but the thing is, so you might have even planned. Okay, by 12 o'clock noon we'll be there in the resort, right? And on the way, in the journey, you actually come across a lovely maybe a monument or something that you feel, oh, this is something very exciting. Let us go and have a look at it, right? And then you spend an hour or two on that, and then again start off your journey. So instead of arriving at 12 o'clock, you arrive at 2 o'clock. Now, the point is, will you beat yourself up because you did not reach the destination by 12 o'clock, right? You won't, right? Because you actually had a lovely time doing doing whatever needed to be done, and take care of the opportunities which were presented to you, and you needed to do that as well, right? So I was kind of looking at that and kind of saying, see, more than the actual number 12 noon, what really is important is, did you enjoy the journey, and what kind of feeling did you have in the journey, right? So was it a fulfilling journey? And that possibly is a lot more important than just that number that we need to know. So that was something that I thought, hey, when you're looking at your resolutions, good to do that, but remember it's about the journey, not just the destination. And you might arrive later to the destination, but the point that you arrived, say, 90% to the destination is also fine, because another half a year or 1 year, you will reach the goals that you would have set for yourself in terms of the number. Right? Why I thought of that is because sometimes if we kind of focus only on the numbers, right, you start compromising on things. You start compromising on things, numbers will get whatever it is, and your team starts compromising. You start compromising on something which is a lot more fundamental and lot more valuable, right? You might start compromising on certain ethical principles. You might be starting to compromise on some values, and which might be detrimental in the longer run, right? So, in our quest for numbers and in our quest for the targets and so on, we should not ever miss out on the feelings, the values, and the intangibles that are very important. Okay. So, a couple of months back, I talked about the fulfillment line, right? Uh, so the fulfillment line, I again talk about it in a little while, but the whole idea is, in our journey, are we feeling fulfilled? Okay. So what do I mean by that? So if you think about, so typically, right, people think about, hey, you need to dump your feelings and you should just focus on the things, the results, and so on and so forth. So a lot of times the thinking is that we are trading off between, say, feelings and the results, right? We're kind of looking at it as if it's a trade-off between feelings and results. But the point is, they're two different things altogether. Okay, and we need to look at feelings and results as two different things. Feelings is one axis, y-axis, and results is another axis, the x-axis. Okay, so things, results, which are tangible, right? These are tangible things. These are easy to measure. Like targets are easy to measure. Profits are easy to measure. Percentage of achievement easy to measure. So these are easy to measure. So I'll call it things. Okay. So one way to put it is a thing is might be a house. We have to buy a big house this year itself and beg, borrow, steal. We're going to get that house. Okay. But how are you going to feel in that house if suddenly we kind of have a huge EMI which is kind of draining you out, right? So it's not just about owning the house, it's also about the feeling that you're getting when you own the house, right? So, so we need to have both. It's not about this or that. It's all about having both. So we need to be in this line that I call the fulfillment line. Okay, let's call this line. Okay, so this line is the fulfillment line where we are having both. Okay, because you can't trade off X versus Y, right? There's no in a mathematical equation that cannot happen, right? So you need both. So in the fulfillment line, the green line, you have both the X and the Y, the things as well as the feelings. Okay. So instead, what I say is, okay, forget about things, feelings, and so on and so forth. What we need to really do is we need to walk on the fulfillment line. We forget about things and feelings, just be on the fulfillment line. And when you're looking at things from the fulfillment line, you're looking at, you're kind of saying, okay, what are the things? What are the feelings? Okay, and you're kind of grounded on that, and when you're grounded on that, you get both. You get the feelings as well as things. You're not compromising on either, right? So that is the thought I was thinking in terms of how do we go about making those resolutions and so on and so forth. And so how do the difficulty in this is, while it's easy to kind of say, kind of put together, these are the things I want, it's very difficult to kind of put in a, these are the feelings I want. It's very difficult to kind of tangibilize that or kind of articulate that. And because it's difficult, we kind of short circuit it and we just focus on the things. Right? And this is where a deliberate thinking about those feelings are important. Okay. And you all can kind of resonate with that deliberate thinking because you've done your golden vibe exercise, right? All of you have done that. And therefore, you know that it is a little struggle to kind of get in touch with your feelings and kind of say, yeah, this is the feeling I really want, right? So you need to do a little bit of introspection. You need to be aware of what is it that emotion that you want to generate in this journey, in this fulfillment journey, and just be aware of that. And the advantage of articulating it, advantage of stating it, is that something which is unconscious, something which is making you uncomfortable, right, becomes the conscious mind, the mind which is going to make the strategy, right, is going to get aware of it. And therefore, internally, there is alignment. Internally, there's alignment that your strategic thinking mind, the conscious mind, is able to have a dialogue with the subconscious mind and say, okay, fine, I understand this is what is important. And therefore, we're going to go in a path where you're going to feel right as well. Okay, so you're going to feel right, you're going to do the right things, and therefore we're going to get the right results, uh, things and feelings, right? So that essentially is what the alignment is about. So it's about knowing, it's about doing, and it's about being as well. Because Gandhiji was saying, right? He was saying that be the change that you want to see in the world. It's about being. So unless you be that change, you're not going to see the outcome, right? You're not going to manifest what you really want. And so it's about being as well. So I was kind of thinking about this and saying, I was thinking about tools, knowing and doing gap, right? We all kind of, so which tool kind of is most useful for this resolution and all to happen? So in the LEC knowledge systems, so to say, we have the work sculpting. I think the work sculpting is the one which actually helps you in this alignment because it aligns your passions, your skills, the opportunities in front of you, and also what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis, right? So all of these things come together in the work sculpting. So it's an amazing tool for alignment. And because at the end of the exercise, you are able to kind of say, hey, this is what I'm going to do on a weekly basis, daily basis, monthly basis. This is how I'm going to spend my time. And therefore, the alignment happens. Otherwise, a lot of times you might have thought, okay, this is the manifestation we want, or this is the goal I want. But internally, you're not kind of aligned. Your feelings and thoughts are not aligned. You're not, going to take on, if something becomes challenging, you're saying, is enough, let's postpone this. And that's it. that manifestation doesn't happen. And therefore, the idea is to do that exercise, the work sculpting exercise, and help in that alignment between internally between all of these things, and finally your action in terms of what is it that you're going to do on a weekly basis. So I totally recommend that you do the work sculpting exercise. So if you are in the arena, it's one of the projects. Work sculpting itself is a project, so you can go refer to it. There's a video, you can look at it and all of that, and do it. And I think most of you in this group have, actually all of you, I think, have attended the manifestation workshop. So the work sculpting is very much part of the manifestation workshop, and there's a easy template available. So just go to works ws.lec.fyi. So that is the template for the work sculpting. Totally suggest you do that, and have a very fulfilling new year.